Welcome to my personal project report. My name is Emma Morris, and my personal project focused on global Epicurean exploration. So let's talk about what I set out to do. I wanted to create an informative blog so that people of my age would be able to cook simple, budget-friendly dishes and learn about different cultures and culinary styles. So my topic is global Epicurean exploration. To put it in a simpler way, I wanted to cook dishes from around the world. I have a keen interest in this as I greatly appreciate cooking. Likewise, I enjoy editing videos, creating blogs, and websites. One of the reasons that I chose this topic to base my project on is because I already have skills in the topic. I often cook for my family and friends, and I often help my mum cooking around the house. I also have family that share a keen interest in cooking. This helped me a lot, and I'm very glad that I had this opportunity. In addition to having family with an interest in cooking, some of my family also work in and have great interest in technology, such as software, filmmaking, website management, and graphic design. This was also very helpful while I worked on my personal project, as I was able to ask them for help as well. The global context that I chose was personal and cultural expression. The official definition of this is the ways in which we discover and express ideas, feelings, nature, culture, belief, and values. The ways in which we reflect on, extend, and enjoy our creativity and our appreciation of the aesthetic. I chose this as I thought it was relevant because my personal project is on different cultures and how cuisines differ throughout the world. I explored the artistry, craft, creation, and beauty aspect of the personal and cultural expression. I chose to investigate and research how we express ideas and culture throughout the world. So now let's talk about my goal and how I accomplished this. My ultimate goal at the end of the project was to have created a professional, easy-to-use cooking blog. I wanted to include a global feel into my website. By doing this, not only was I able to help others cook and learn about international cultures and cuisines, but I was also able to expand my own knowledge on the subject as well. I wanted to improve my culinary skills and get a better understanding of what it would be like to work in a professional kitchen environment. Furthermore, I wanted to learn how to manage my own blog in a realistic manner. Running a blog helped me keep on task with my project, as I wanted to update it every few days to make it more professional. In order to do this, I had to improve my video editing skills and become more comfortable with using new softwares that I've never used before. In order to do this, I needed to follow a strict timeline. In order to reach my goal, I needed to meet some specifications. Those included investigation, design, creation, and knowledge and understanding. The objectives that I needed to complete these specifications were do detailed research on the recipes I'll be using, and to do research into why these foods are popular in their respective country or continent. Next, I decided that I would cook the dishes throughout the next few months, reflect on the cooking process, ask myself was it successful, what would I have changed if I could do it again, and if something went wrong I would record this. Then, I needed to design a professional, clear, and organized blog. I wanted to have the blog up and running with followers and supporters. And the last objective that I needed to meet was to develop an understanding and clear knowledge on why different foods from around the world benefit and affect the country or continent's culture. I will also acquire knowledge and build on skills in blog creation. I will have a better understanding of how to create a professional-looking blog. Okay, so now let's talk about the selection of sources. Firstly, I needed to have basic culinary skills in order to follow recipes accurately and get the best outcome. Next, I required some elementary photography skills in order to take satisfactory photos. This was a skill I wanted and needed to work on. I also needed some primary website design experience. And lastly, I needed to have an achievable timeline and demanding criteria. I wanted to ensure that I worked to the best of my ability and produced top quality product, so I created rigorous criteria. So how did I find the necessary information? Firstly, I did some online research. I watched tutorials for iMovie, Final Cut Pro, and different website tutorials. I used different websites and I contacted professionals. I contacted cooking instructor Carson Flint and Sandra Toppin to get advice on things like ingredient procurement and tips on any cooking that I might need. I contacted Tim Ross, who is my uncle. He works in website design and different things with technology. Also, my dad, David Morris, works with technology and website design. I also watched tutorials on YouTube for designing and editing videos and websites. During my personal project, I learned a lot. For example, I learned how to make pastry. I learned how to use different techniques used by professionals, for example, searing, julienning, dicing, and folding. I learned how to edit blogs, how to choose proper layouts, format, template, compressing videos, exporting multimedia formats. I used composition of color, navigation skills, filters on Photoshop, masks, contrast, and much more. In order to cook each dish, I needed to go through a variety of steps. Firstly, I needed to search up the country and look at what their national or most popular dishes were. Next, I needed to look through my personal cookbooks or recipes online for the best recipes for the particular dish. So when I was actually cooking, I needed to follow the recipes step by step and very carefully to ensure that it would taste the best and look the best for my pictures. Finally, once the food was ready, I needed to take a number of steps to make it look the best in the pictures. So I looked up different lighting techniques, different photography techniques to make my photos look the best. The research that I did included cookery classes, blog editing practice, Final Cut Pro tutorials, and Photoshop tutorials. I was able to build upon already elementary skills that I had. I applied developed research to my project by using specific techniques when I made the food. I applied knowledge about camera angles, background setting, and lighting to take the photos and videos of higher quality. I edited the videos and did all of the necessary formatting for the blog. All of this research, investigation, and practice helped me achieve higher standards and accomplish my final goal. Based on the information that I found, when I took videos and pictures, I used new and different techniques. For example, I used a tripod and lights. When I took the photos of the end product, I picked up on new techniques like splashing water on the vegetables to make them look glossy. Although I made only a few videos, I also bettered my skills in video editing. The first video I made was on iMovie, because in my opinion at the time, this was a great software to use. However, I was able to find and obtain another software called Final Cut Pro, which I think looks more executive and advanced. My research influenced the steps that I took during my project. For instance, when I took videos and pictures, I used a technique called tripod photography. This is when you use a tripod to film or take photographs. This ensures stability in the video. I also use extra lights called light boxes in my videos to make the food look more appealing. When I took the photos of the end product, you can tell that I improved from the first picture to the last one. This is because along the way I picked up on new techniques, like I previously mentioned, for example splashing water on vegetables, or putting butter on chicken or rice, for example, to make it look less dry. I found that researching helped me avoid problems, like reverse transitions, razor remnants, mismatched audio, and other problems while using video editing softwares. By researching new cooking techniques, I was able to improve the taste, presentation, and overall quality of the food. Okay, so to evaluate my criteria and give myself a grade. So criteria A, investigation. The requirements that I set myself were researching continents and finding recipes. The objectives that I set were to do detailed research on the recipes that I would be using, and to do research into why these foods are popular in their respective country or continent. The level that I gave myself was a 3 out of 8. Why? Because although I did research to find the recipes and software tutorials, I did not do detailed research into the cuisines or cultures, nor did I research why these foods are popular in their respective countries. The reason that I didn't do this is because I didn't find it necessary information to include in my blog, and overall I wanted my final product to be my blog. The next criteria is criteria B, design. The requirements that I set myself were to create a blog and my process journal. The objectives that I set were to design a professional, clear, and organized blog, and to have the blog up and running with active supporters and followers. The level I gave myself was a 7 out of 8, because I feel that I did design a professional looking blog and I'm pretty happy with the outcome. However, I deducted 1 mark because I didn't have a lot of active followers or supporters. The next criteria is criteria C. This is the creation. The requirement that I chose was to cook the food. The objectives that I set out was to cook the dishes, reflect on the cooking process, was it successful, if something went wrong, and I would record it. I gave myself a 7 out of 8 again, because I cooked 14 dishes successfully and I reflected well on whether the process was successful or what I thought went wrong or right during the processes. You can also see this in my blog. I do have little notes on the side of each recipe saying what I changed about the recipe, what I kept the same, and anything that I found personally went wrong with the recipe. The last criteria I set myself was criteria D, knowledge and understanding. The requirements were to develop knowledge on food culture around the world, as well as to create a site or a blog. The objectives were to develop an understanding and clear knowledge on why different foods from around the world benefit or affect that country's or continent's culture. Also to acquire knowledge and build on skills in blog creation. I wanted to have a better understanding of how to create a professional-looking blog. The level that I gave myself for this criteria was a 4 out of 8, because I did research the country's cuisine. However, I do not have a clear understanding of why or how the cuisines benefit the country's culture. Nonetheless, I did acquire a lot of knowledge on skills in blog creation. Before doing my personal project, I really struggled to manage time. However, by wanting to update my blog weekly, it kept me motivated to research, cook, and edit. Now I feel that I have bettered my time management skills. By doing this, I have also become more disciplined in my approach to work. Not only was I able to improve time management, I also learned techniques to help me manage scholastic stress. The project has also made me become more open-minded as I became exposed to different and diverse cultures that I normally would not be aware of. I have also become more reflective, as every time I completed a dish, I would reflect and consider my thoughts throughout. During the project, I became more knowledgeable about new approaches and methods. In addition to this, I learned tips, tricks, and practices used by professionals. I was also able to become more of a risk taker as I was trying new foods and also letting my friends and family taste them. This was quite an intimidating thing to do. To summarize my experiences after completing the project, I believe that the personal project was an engaging, educational, and motivating experience that allowed me to showcase a collection of skills I have gained throughout the MYP. For example, IT, globalization, independent work ethic, and an open-minded lifestyle.